Folks, lowball offers are causing drama. I'll get into that and then the latest home prices and insights for the Peel and Durham region for week ending February the 5th, 2025. Lowball offers is nothing new. Lowball offers have been around since the beginning of time. Some people are going to try to buy anything. It could be a property, it could be a car, it could be a pair of shoes. There's always going to be people trying to buy something way below what you would consider market value for that property. Well, real estate being an emotional buy and a sell in most cases, especially if you're buying for yourself. As an investor, it's maybe a bit different. But if you're buying to live in and you're selling your principal residence, there's often a lot of emotions. And we try to, as realtors, separate the emotion from the actual transaction and just focus on the facts and do the best we can for our clients. But lowball offers are really putting a damper or really flipping the script for a lot of people. I have been on both sides of the table. I have been representing the buyer where we put in a lowball offer. I have been on the selling side where I'm representing the seller, and we've received lowball offers. We recently put a lowball offer in me representing the buyers, and the seller side, the agent representing the seller. And I'm assuming the seller also, based on what the agent told me, got so upset that our offer was so low. It wasn't without merit, the number we put in. There was some logic to it, but it was nowhere near their number. And they got upset. And the agent wanted to argue, how dare I? And man, it's like, look, I didn't argue back. I knew the potential was there for them to get upset. I knew the potential was there for them to not even respond to our offer. And in fact, that's what happened. And I prepared my buyer client, listen, there's some logic to the number we're putting in, and it is not what the other side, the sellers, are thinking. So don't take it personal if they rip up our offer. And my client was prepared for that. My client, the buyer, was prepared for that. And that's what happened. And we're okay. We moved on. But the other side was just so upset. I've been, like I said, at it from the seller side. And it doesn't matter what we list at. We could be listing way below market. But these days, especially with attitudes of many of the buyers, I've got to tell my seller clients, listen, it doesn't matter how fair we think our price is. Just understand there may be some people offering really low. Don't take it personal. It doesn't mean we have to accept it. Doesn't mean we even have to respond. I prepare them ahead of time. And sure enough, a lowball offer comes in. Again, just this past week, a lowball offer comes in. And I tell the agent representing the buyer, say, yeah, thank you for your offer. I've showed it to my seller, and we're not even going to respond to it. We're going to decline your offer, but we're happy to review a different offer. If you update your pricing to something more realistic, then maybe we'll respond to that, but we're going to decline this offer. And the agent representing the buyer got upset. How dare we not give him a counter offer? Well, there's no rule saying we have to give a counter offer. They should be more realistic with their price. I don't get emotionally attached to somebody trying to buy a listing that I'm representing for way below market. And I don't get upset if I'm trying to buy it representing a buyer client way below market. But you know what the difference is for those people that do get upset, whether it's the buyer or seller or whether it's the agent? Many of them don't really necessarily expect it, or they don't even think they're putting in a lowball offer. That's where the problem lies. I'll put in a lowball offer, but I'll know I'm trying to buy it way below for whatever the circumstances and reasons are. Maybe I'm thinking we actually have a shot at getting away with this. Sometimes I will try based on what my buyer wants to do. But I know it's a lowball offer. I know it. And I know the reception on the other side may not be a welcome reception for that offer. That's the difference. Leave the emotion out of it if you are a seller, if you are a buyer. I know it's hard to do, but if you're on the market selling, especially if you've been sitting on the market, you should expect some buyers trying to buy below whatever you feel is the market price. And if you are a buyer and you put in an offer way below, hey, don't get mad if the other side doesn't respond back with a counter offer. Your offer may not be realistic to the other side. That's okay. There's lots of other properties, or you try again, or you try to reason, but keep the emotion out of it and understand what you're doing. You are trying to buy way below market. You're not always going to get away with it. Sometimes you may upset some people, and just understand that. If you feel this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value from what we're talking about, take a second and subscribe. And if you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling, buying, it's really simple. Below this video, in the description part, there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you, and we'll talk about whatever's on your mind. Now, let's get into the numbers. Folks, first of all, happy Valentine's Day. And if you're in the market for a townhouse in Ajax, check out the link that we'll have here at the end of this video. Now, let's get into the Peel and Durham numbers. We're going to be focused on detached properties for week ending February the 5th. Here's a summary of average sold prices for 3 months. Mississauga is almost always at the top of the heap here as far as average sold prices go. Durham and Brampton kind of go back and forth between who has slightly higher average sold price. We're going to start off with Mississauga. For week ending February the 5th, 21 detached properties were sold. Three of those were at $2 million or more. I've put a circle around here because we would expect sales to be increasing. It's just something that we saw it last year at this time. We're not really seeing it now. So 21 were sold. Average sold price has been hovering somewhere around 1.5. For week ending February the 5th, it's $1,498,000. 1,498 is, where are we here? 8% lower than it's 8% higher than where we were this time a year ago. The median price is 5% higher. Sales, pretty similar. If we look at year-to-date sales, this period this year versus the same period in 2024, sales are pretty similar when it comes to Mississauga. But listings, specifically active listings, the amount of detached properties available for sale, this is where the story really is. Active listings are up 65% this period versus the same period a year ago. So there's way more properties available for sale. Months of inventory climbed. We're now at 4.9 months of inventory, basically right at the border between a balanced market and a buyer's market. Here's Brampton. Similar situation as far as sales, not really seeing a trend going up. So 39 detached properties were sold across Brampton. One of those was at $2 million or more. Average sold price down a bit from the previous week to $1,142,000. 1,142 is 2% lower than this time a year ago. The median price is 10% lower. Sales also pretty similar to where we were this time a year ago, year-to-date sales. But active listings, they've more than doubled. We have 330 more detached properties available for sale in Brampton this year. That's a 104% increase. Let that sink in again. Sales, pretty much the same, but there are more than double the amount of detached properties available for sale. Months of inventory sitting at 3.8, pretty similar to where we've been so far this year. 3.7, 3.9, 3.5, 3.8. Here's the Durham region. For Durham, I'm using Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby as my Durham sample. For detached properties only, 27 were sold for week ending February the 5th. One of those was at $2 million or more. Sales also pretty flat. 27, 27, 28, 32, 27. Not a big change in sales week after week. Average sold price did climb up a bit to $1,174,000. 1174 is 4% higher year over year. The median price is 7% higher. Sales, year-to-date sales are actually down about 23%. Active listings, way up. 120% more active listings year-to-date this year versus last year. Again, this is where the story really is. It's 120% more active sales just of detached properties in Pickering, Ajax, and Whitby. Months of inventory climbing a little bit. We're now at 2.7 months of inventory. Here's a quick summary. You're going to experience a balanced market. You're going to experience a seller's market. You're going to experience a buyer's market. I know you don't see all that here, but you're talking about neighborhoods that have fairly low price points in a lot of cases, especially when it comes to the Durham region. We're working with clients in the Durham region, and there's a lot of the properties, the detached and the lower price point that are coming onto the market. A lot of them, a high percentage are using a offer night strategy as their pricing strategy. So there's going to be some competition there. We're seeing it also in a lot of other areas. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.